restrictions. Let's bring in Luke Johnson, former chairman of Pizza Express, now chairman of Gales Bakeries, also Brighton peer. Good to see you, Luke. So, I mean, first of all, does this do enough, do you think, to save some hospitality businesses and save some jobs in the short term at least?
I think it's all appreciated. Every bit of government support is generous, and the taxpayer has done a fair amount for the hospitality industry. But I think that a large proportion of the pubs, restaurants, bars, nightclubs, etc., in the country are not even breaking even. So whether they'll be able to survive and to keep people in work is highly debatable, particularly if this continues for many more months.
But for a few, and hopefully more, it could be the difference between staying open, I guess, and closing down even temporarily.
Certainly, because, never underplay the resilience and persistence of entrepreneurs and their ability to adapt and cope with adverse conditions. So, a lot of them will somehow make ends meet and keep going. But if we carry on with these relentless lockdowns, then you can expect millions more unemployed in due course, and all the mental health and other issues that follow from unemployment. And I do think we have to, as a country, consider, are these lockdowns effective? Are they proven? Because even SAGE has said the evidence in favour of them is weak. And are there alternative ways of dealing with this crisis?
Yeah, I mean, I've been reading some of what you've said. You're arguing basically that, we need to get used to living with this virus and protecting the vulnerable and trying to get on with life, yeah?
I do, because I think what isn't being taken into account is all the collateral damage. If you look at the unemployment, the mental health issues, the suicides, the other illnesses like cancer and heart disease and strokes going untreated, the bankruptcies, the evictions, the disrupted education, the 2 trillion of national debt that's somehow going to have to be repaid. I think we have to take a step back and get this disease into proportion. Obviously, every death is a tragedy, but 1,600 people die every single day from one cause or another. And I think what we have to say is let the healthy continue to work so that we can afford to earn money, to pay taxes, to actually pay for the NHS.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we will all end up with a relentless virus that isn't going away, with this hope that a vaccine will appear and magically cure it all. We have to seek community immunity and learn to live with COVID.
Well, I mean, the thing is that Boris Johnson addressed this directly today, and he said that would mean many more thousands of deaths, a huge pressure on the NHS. He said, I don't buy into this laissez-faire attitude.
I don't think it is laissez-faire. I think it's about focused protection for those who are vulnerable. As we now know, the average age of those who died is over 82. 95% of those who died have had another comorbidity. That means that particularly for people under the age of 65 without an existing serious illness, the risk from this disease is very low. And therefore, we have to reorganise things to take account of those.
How do you shield the elderly then? How do you do it, Luke? How do you shield the elderly successfully? It's a very hard thing to do.
It is a very hard thing to do, but surely it's easier to shield a relatively small proportion of the population than try and shield the entire population, which is what we're doing now, and close down everyday life for 67 million people, throwing the country into complete chaos.
Isn't it true that your strategy can really only work if test and trace is working and functioning properly, at least a lot better than it is now? And that's just not happening at the moment, is it?
I don't think that is true, and it's not my strategy. There is, as you well know, the Great Barrington Declaration, which is approved of by quite a number of scientists and doctors. Clearly, the logistics and the details of it have to be tried. But I think the current doom loop of lockdowns isn't succeeding. And I think that there must be a much wider, bigger debate rather than just dismissing any possible alternative strategy than the current one, because these lockdowns are simply not working. They suppress the disease for a period and then it recurs.
OK.